Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today we're playing the Total War Warhammer II Battle Replay. This one is actually a little bit special. Why does it keep teleporting me over here? Anyway, it's quite special actually. I was playing against Jordenator. I mean, that's his, stage name, obviously. He's actually one of the video guys that helped out with the Everchosen, one of the CA guys. I stayed in touch, and we played some games the other day. It was a lot of fun. So here I am with the vampire counts. I'm against his high elves. And it's a lot of fun. So I got a load of zombies, an awful lot of them, so a lot of fodder to, just sort of bog him down with stuff, which is always good against high elves. You don't want them getting their elite units onto things that are valuable. So a lot of zombies, always nice. And I've got a necromancer for even more, and also some healing. Also got the claw and a gash, slowing things down even more, which is great, so they don't have to, it's not that they just have to run through all the zombies and get through all this nonsense. They're also just going to be slower, because they claw and a gash, which is hilarious. Also, the damaging aura is great, and actually they do have anti-infantry and armor piercing. So these guys, even on top of Phoenix Guard, as long as there's a load of zombies and other nonsense taking a lot of the hits for it, it can really perform. I think it's really underrated in melee. I always used to throw it in melee, even before you had to get that, that damaging aura that it has. So yeah, I just love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Also, I've got some skeleton spearmen on the edges for a bit of extra anti-large. Again, cheap. And here, biggest gamble of the day. I have two Khan Wraiths. These guys obviously ethereal, so any magic damage is going to negate all of their physical resistance, which is basically the only thing that keeps them alive. So, gotta watch out for this. High Elves have so much magic damage. They have so much good access to that. Alarielle, she has an aura around her, which gives magic damage to everything nearby. I mean, that alone is probably, reason not to bring any ethereal units at all, because Alarielle is pretty often picked. Also, though, Techless, Flaming Sword of Ruin, cast that anything, they get fire and magic damage. Fire, also great against the vampire counts. So, again, risky pick. Also, Sisters of Avalon, magic and fire damage. Again, pretty nifty against vampire counts. Could wipe these guys out in a single volley. Yeah, there's a lot of magic damage. Law of Shadows, Occam's Mind Razor, that also imbues magic damage. So, okay, you guys get it. There's a lot of magic, and this is dangerous. But I decided to roll the dice. So, also, I have a couple of Fellbats, one over there, one over there. These guys can bog down archers, such as the Sisters of Avalon, hopefully keeping these guys alive. Also, I have some Blood Knights. Blood Knights will go toe-to-toe with anything, even the Fireborn. You can heal these guys up while they're fighting, debuff the Fireborn, buff up the Blood Knights, whatever you like. These guys can win with a bit of magic support pretty well. They are so formidable, and all that healing is fantastic, especially if you can get something like the Claw and a Gash helping them out, giving them that constant healing, constantly damaging the enemy. It's pretty great. Also, Red Duke. Red Duke is an absolute monster, especially on the dragon. Just so much armor-piercing damage. He can, of course, get netted and gunned down pretty horribly if Techless is on the field, but he's still so formidable. He has so many zombie summons that he can just drop wherever, because obviously, you got pretty good control of the environment if you're flying over it, so pretty handy. Also, Elsif is absolute killer against Lords and Heroes. I mean, minus 45 melee defense is huge. I mean, even with the huge melee defense of High Elf units, that's enough to, more than half it most of the time. It's pretty disgusting. Also, lowers physical resistance and speed. So it's all pretty great. All pretty damn good. Also, Potion of Strength, giving plus 40% armor piercing and a 40% weapon damage. It puts his weapon damage up to about 800. It's ludicrous. He is very scary. And also, breath attacks are nice. That's good too. So, a lot of scary stuff. Also, right in the back, I have the die pack. So, I very much like the die pack. They're great. If a dragon lands, such as this one, and tries to get away, just chase it with the die pack. It'll keep them bolted to the ground, and the anti-large bonus will do a lot of damage. They don't have a lot of armor piercing, but dragons don't tend to have a lot of armor. I mean, look at this guy. He's a general. 70 armor? It's not that big. So, pretty great. So, Jordenator here has got a Prince on a Sun Dragon. So really nice breath attacks, good for killing a lot of fodder very quickly, and a pretty good combatant, pretty good combat stats, pretty good weapon strength, not half bad, not quite as good as the Red Duke, but a lot cheaper. Also, he has the Pure Main Company, which will actually give him some physical resistance, which is nice. They have Guardian. So, also, a load of Loathen Seaguard. Loathen Seaguard can look after themselves a lot more than any archers can, because they do have the spears, so they can, kill some zombies. So, it's pretty handy. Also, any cavalry charges, they've got the anti-large, so they're a lot more survivable, so a lot less risky than standard archers in this matchup. No Sisters of Avalon, though. Phew. But he does have shadows. But no Occam's Mind Razor. Thank God. So he doesn't have any magic damage. So, Khan Wraiths, gamble well spent, I think. So, yeah, Mage of Shadows. So, Pit Shades can do a lot of damage, and Enfeebling Foe lets any unit pretty much win that engagement. Enfeebling Foe is so useful, and it's nice and cheap. You can use it quite often. Also, 2 Swordmaster Hoeth. These will kill any infantry in the Vampire Count roster pretty happily. They are absolute killing machines. But it does look like I will be charging them soon with the Blood Knights. They don't like getting cycle charged much. They're not good at that. He also has some Silver Helms for a bit of extra maneuverability, and he has the Fireborn. So fire damage, really good against things like Terrorgeists or Vargulfs. Crypt Horrors, all great there. So nice to have the fire damage, but really it's the huge stat line and the anti-large that make the Fireborn superb. So that's going to be very, very scary indeed. So Fireborn, definitely one to watch out for. So let's speed this up. So I'm probing around one side. You can see the Blood Knights are now going to charge into the Swordmasters of Hoeth, and you'll see they don't really hold up particularly well against, a charge from heavy cavalry like Blood Knights. So without any spear support, taking the charge or, getting on top of these Blood Knights, I can get a lot of damage in, kill a couple of models, then get out again. I've taken very little damage as a result of that. And, of course, I can just heal that up. And my opponent cannot. He has no Law of Life here. So here, I have bogged down the Major Shadows, and I'm going to try and get him with a Breath Attack. Try and get some good damage on him. But actually, it doesn't really do much. Honestly, the Breath Attack, not great against a small target like the Major Shadows, apparently. That's a bit of a pity. But, I did manage to kill a load of zombies and bats, so that's fun. Anyway, so I'm going to use Elsif on him and dive right in. Over here, you can see my Blood Knights did get massively caught out by the Fireborn. I did not see them coming. Here, we can see a Pit of Shades just before the Major Shadows terrifies and runs away. So he's been scared off, but, he can come back, which is annoying. I didn't really bother chasing him, because all of this nonsense, you can see the Fireborn are causing absolute havoc on the Blood Knights, and the Claw and Gash is being bullied by the Prince, but, I do have a lot of zombies and things bogging this stuff down. I've got some cheap spearmen fighting the Fireborn, which is definitely going to help. It's nice to have this stuff bogged down, and, with the Claw and Gash supporting, get some work done. So here the Blood Knights have turned around to try and get on top of the Prince, because the Prince doesn't have a lot of armor. Blood Knights, they don't have a lot of armor piercing, but it doesn't matter against something like a Sun Dragon. So here, this is what we're all here for. Honestly, we're going to see a beautiful animation, which I don't think I have ever seen. So here it comes. Absolutely wonderful. It is so cool. I love when you manage to find these moments in Warhammer. They are very few and far between, but they are spectacular. And this is resulting in the Prince being absolutely murdered to pieces. He's having a really bad day. Fireball, though, bring a lot of pressure on the Claw and Gash. I did use an Invocation to Heck, try and keep the stuff going. But now the Swordmasters are back in the fight. They can now get over here and start doing some work. They do have quite a few Blood Knights caught up, and their armor piercing will do some damage to the Blood Knights in prolonged engagement. But the Prince is shattered. Over here you can see I am trying to heal up my Khan Wraiths with my Necromancer. I need these guys to stay in the fight. They are keeping so much stuff busy. But they did get hit by a Pit of Shades, which really, really hurt them. That is not good. But I have more Khan Wraiths in here that have taken almost no damage. I've been fighting the Pure Main Company for ages. Got a load of zombies and spearmen in here, being just a mischief. And bats, keeping this stuff busy. The Fireborn are really struggling. The Blood Knights have done so much damage to the Silver Helms already, and I'm keeping a load of them bogged down with zombies. Over here, the Mortis Engine effect, as we like to call it, that damaging aura, is going to be affecting the Fireborn, and yeah, my Blood Knights are going to be all over the shop now, trying to finish all this stuff off. So these Swordmasters get terrified away, thanks to the cheap terror of the Khan Wraiths, and the Silver Helms also got terrified, but they're over here now. So here, I am trying to deal with the Mage of Shadows, using another Elsif to try and finish him off, because, well, the Sun Dragon's long gone. There he is. Yeah, he's about to leave the field. So this is the only target I have left. It only works on heroes and lords. So anyway, trying to finish this guy off before he hits me with some more spells. And I'm trying to bog him down with zombies too, but he's not going to be able to get away. And now, load of cavalry on, on top of the Mortis Engine again, really close to my healing cap. Had to use the odd Invocation to Heck, using another one now. And the Blood Knights are able to get in here. And terror hits once again, thanks to the Claw and Gash's terror. I have a lot of terror. It is good fun. So now I can charge the Claw and Gash into the Swordmasters, where they're comfortable, and these guys are immediately terrified. I don't know if it's the Khan Wraiths or the Claw and Gash, but they get overwhelmed. And the Silver Helms are going to break soon too. So over here, got a lot of stuff crumbling. You know, they've been fighting for a heck of a long time, but the Khan Wraiths are still basically untouched. And all he's really got left is the Loathe and Sea Guard. Everything else, dangerous has been caught up. So here, going to drop zombies on top of these guys. The zombies that were trying to pin down the mage can now get into this fight, and I'm going to get a very tasty breath attack on these Loathe and Sea Guard. This might have been a better target, but, I'll work my way down. So, beautiful breath attack on them. They immediately Oh, no, they don't immediately... Yeah, they do immediately shatter. Okay. And army losses hits, and everything else follows suit. So there we go. There we go. So Mortar's engine hit its healing cap, so that was scary, but I managed to keep it going long enough. And the Red Duke basically just had dominion over this whole area. He had no problems at all. He is definitely a terror. So here we can see Jordenator's army. Huge amount of kills. Kind of a ludicrous amount, actually. It's a little bit silly how many kills they had. But it was all zombies, so I really don't care. Here, I didn't get many kills, actually, with the Blood Knights, but they were yo-yoing between so many things. They were getting so much damage in, so much shock damage, and then all my trash was able to bring things down. So that went pretty well. Zombies with 5 kills. These guys, MVP. Frankly, 5 kills on a unit of zombies. No zombie has ever zombied this hard before. This is fantastic. Well done, them. Khan Wraiths, they did a wonderful job. These ones, they were the ones fighting the Pure Main Company. Took forever to kill them. But didn't matter, all they need to do is hold the line there and keep all of his units bogged down while I killed the elites, with my elite stuff. And it worked out beautifully. The die pack, they got a bit wasted, really. I just sort of threw them into the mix just to keep the archers busy for a while. I didn't really have a good target for them, to be honest. I mean, the prince, yeah, that would have been nice. But, he was already getting bogged down by Blood Knights and hunted by the Red Duke, so that was fine. Necromancer took almost no damage, was able to summon zombies and use Invocation to Heck all day. The Forbidden Rod is really nice for getting more winds of magic that either he or the Red Duke can be using. So Necromancer's fantastic for that, because he's just going to heal through it. He's got a healing aura as well. So he was able to heal all the zombies and other nonsense nearby and keep things bogged down for longer. So, pretty great. So, this worked out fantastically, but Khan Wraiths are such a risky pick. I do not recommend it as the vampire counts. However, I do recommend as the High Elves, always bring insurance against that. If you're going to go with Shadow Magic, bring Occam's Mind Razor. Anything with Occam's Mind Razor will be able to kill a unit of Khan Wraiths in like 5 seconds. It's embarrassing how bad Khan Wraiths will do if they don't have their physical resistance. So definitely bring some magic damage. Or bring Teclis. He's got fantastic spells, with the net to net down something like the Red Duke so it doesn't, murder everybody. That's always nice. But also the Flaming Sword of Ruin is really good. Regrowth, fantastic for healing up your guys. I mean, any Law of Life on the Fireborn would have been brilliant. Any healing on these guys. And they would have been almost impossible for me to deal with. I would have had to go all in, with the Red Duke, my Blood Knights, the Chlorida Gash, Spearmen, everything. I would have had to shut them down with as much as I could. It would have been really difficult. So, yeah, that's always good too. So I like Teclis. Teclis is good. Or Alarielle. She's got a load of huge healing abilities, as well as fast protection that can just keep melee defense really high, and increase armor. And frankly, a lot of these units struggle against armor. The Red Duke obviously has great armor piercing. The Chlorida Gash and the Khan Wraith have armor piercing, but the Blood Knights, the most elite cav, don't have a lot of it. So fast protection on the Fireborn, and they get hit far less. And, all the healing from Alarielle, fantastic. And you can get magic damage with Alarielle. Alarielle just needs to be near something that is fighting, Khan Wraiths or other units, other ethereal units, and they'll die in seconds to whatever they're fighting. So there's a lot of tools that the High Elves have, so I recommend you bring one. That's all you need, right? Just 1 or 2 things. There's a lot of potential for the High Elves for covering those bases, so I recommend you do. So, yeah, awesome. So, Jordenator and the rest of the video guys, big shout out to all of them. They did a fantastic job for the Ever-Chosen tournament. Having to do all that live, all the hopping back and forth. They were having to run into the other room to quickly knock up new graphics if people decided to bring a different faction. It was mad. It was absolute madness, and they did it fantastically. So, huge shout out to those guys. Yeah, it's impossible to do without them. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background that you just don't know when you're watching it, but they were really on top of it. It was fantastic. So, yeah, thank you so much. And now, I am actually just going to cut to a load of replays of that awesome dragon animation, because that was dope. So, also, apparently I say dope now. I know, it's not really me. Anyway, guys, I'm going to cut to that. So if you enjoyed this, please do comment, like, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good day, guys.